What's up, beautiful? It's Lisa Roulette, and today we're going to talk about the channeled messages for the Cancer full moon, January 2022. Our beloved Ascension support team has a couple of things they want to remind us of, and as you know, we are huge fans of astrology because we believe fully, totally, and completely that the stars align us with our soul's destiny, as above, so below, as within, so without. And if we really lean into our astrology, we start to remember our star-seatedness, and we also start to speak the language of God, light language that we need to advance along our soul's path toward our divine destiny. If you don't already know who I am, I'm here to help you heal, navigate your ascension journey, and create a life you love. This channel is all about spiritual awakening, healing, and learning how to create or manifest our life experiences through our expansion of consciousness, which of course is the ascension path. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the Cancer full moon and what it means for those of us who are on a spiritual path and for those of us who are rapidly ascending. We're going to split this video up into 3 parts. The first part is going to be a reminder from our Ascension support team. The second is going to be largely about Cancer energy. And the third is going to be 4 things that you can do to align yourself with this energy in order to stay in a forward-moving, expansive state of consciousness, as opposed to getting overwhelmed by Cancer energy, which happens to be really emotional. Now, the first thing the team wants to remind us of is that we are in a massive shift. Right now, we are moving from a largely masculine-dominated, energetic world into a more balanced and harmonious world. This isn't about men. It is about the masculine principle, or simply masculine energy. And whenever masculine and feminine energy are out of balance, so too are we out of balance. The masculine energy leads us into a very linear mind awareness, away from heart-based or heart-centered awareness. And we start to forget that we are all one, a direct connection of one God source, and all connected to one another through that source. We are starting to remember the nature of our oneness and the interconnectedness of all things as the divine feminine principle comes rushing back in. But as the divine feminine comes rushing back in, it is dismantling a lot of the masculine systems that were built. So while it feels like a very disruptive time, this is a balancing out that we have to be able to endure. Now remember, 2022, according to the team, is all about resources, build resilience. So as we look at our astrology throughout the entire year, we really want to keep that in mind, that we want to be gathering resources in order to build resilience to this ever-changing, somewhat disruptive world. We don't want to get mixed in the theros of drama and more trauma, when in actuality, we're trying to heal drama and trauma. So just keeping in mind, resources build resilience. We are balancing the masculine and feminine. And in order to balance the masculine and feminine, a lot of the masculine systems have to come down first. So just keep that in mind, especially under this very emotional Cancer full moon. So let's move on to the Cancer energy. Well, first, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon signifies our soul and our unconscious. It is a very emotional energy, and so it has the tendency to bring up a lot of repressed emotions associated with the traumas and the dramas of this life experience, as well as other lives. So if you are a believer in past lives, you could be experiencing some dramas and traumas from past lives during this time. But keep in mind that it is also a very motherly energy, a very deeply caring, compassionate, empathic energy. And this is where things can get sticky. Because while it's good to bring up our own dramas and traumas in order to become the observer of them, to understand them, and ultimately to move the energies of those dramas and traumas out of the auric field permanently so that we no longer carry them with us from decade to decade or lifetime to lifetime, the same is happening for the world around us. So our loved ones, the people that we associate with, the people that we interact with, are going to experience the same thing, this sort of uprooting of the energies associated with their dramas and traumas. Now, we want to be extremely careful not to take on the energy of other people, because while those emotions rise up in them, especially for my empath, lightworking, and starseed family, we can very easily absorb that energy in a simple attempt to be helpful, to be nurturing, to be the mother, to be the healer. So we want to be very, very careful. The primary message with the Cancer energy and the Cancer full moon is a bit more like a warning. And our team is telling us boundaries. So because boundaries are such a prevalent theme in going through 2022, I am going to make a video on how to create energetic boundaries, probably coming out this Friday. So look for that. But there is also a video related to energetic boundaries that I'll link in the description of the video below that might help you a lot right now. You're looking largely for relational or relationship boundaries, keeping in mind that all of the people that we have relationships with will be having a lot of drama and trauma coming up. And we want to make sure that we have sufficient boundaries in order to not take on or assimilate to the frequencies of other people's dramas and traumas. Cancer is associated with the thoracic region. That big body of the crab is similar to our chest area or thoracic region. And this is largely heart chakra energy. The heart chakra is a superpower between the physical realm, which is the lower three chakras, and the spiritual realm, which begin in the throat, moving to the third eye, crown, and so forth. So we want to be very mindful that this energy is extremely powerful, and it is the bridge between the physical and spiritual realms. This is also the bridge between the physical experience and the spiritual experience, the conscious and the unconscious. So really becoming very aware of how we are bridging that for ourselves. How aware are we of the experiences that we're having from both a physical and spiritual perspective, and trying to interweave them or weave them together in such a way that it serves our highest good. The second thing they're recommending we do is to transcend the linear mind and the ego. Now, I make a ton of videos talking about the linear mind and the ego, and I'll link a couple in the description of the video below. But in order to transcend the linear mind and the ego, we must understand the ego, because the linear mind is the home to the ego. The power, presence, and process of the ego is what keeps us in a third dimensional reality, and it prevents us from expanding our consciousness, which of course is the primary means by which we ascend. So we want to get out of that head and into the heart chakra region as much as we can during this time. But again, being very careful that while we're in that heart chakra reading, that we have enough boundaries to work with our own energies first and know when we're working with other people's energies to not assimilate to the frequencies of the dramas and traumas of another person's energy. The third thing they recommend that we do is to go into more of our deeper relationships and to revisit the co-creative process. Remember, all relationships should be co-creative, uplifting, and inspiring. So if some of your deeper relationships have fallen flat, it's a good time to revisit those relationships, to have open dialogue about common intentions, about where you're taking the relationship. Now, this could be with your partner, with a child, it could be with a business partner, it could be with a boss, but really thinking, who do I really want to co-create with this year? How can I sync my heart chakra energy with another individual to manifest the highest outcomes that I can actually imagine for this year? And finally, the fourth thing they're recommending is heart-centered discernment. If you know me, I'm always talking about the art of surrender and how the art of surrender is one of the most powerful tools we have along our healing path. When we can learn the art of surrender and master it, we become the observer of our experience. And when we can observe our experience, then we can use heart-based discernment to determine whether or not what's happening inside of our experience is right for us or wrong for us. Is it advancing us along our ascension path, or is it keeping us back in a weighted, dense, third-dimensional reality? That's a wrap for this video, my friends. If you have any insight into the Cancer full moon, make sure you comment below. Any questions on the 4 recommendations from our beloved Ascension support team, ask away. If the video helped you in any way, go ahead and share it with someone you love. And as always, like and subscribe if you dig my vibe. Remember, stay in the luminosity of your beautiful light, and you are loved.